Hey everyone and welcome back to Hoshizora no Memoria. Let's continue. Chinami, still not ready yet? Hurry up and get down here! I shout upstairs from the entrance. What on earth are you doing? You'll be late on your first day at this rate.
だってこの制服着るの初めてだからリボンとかボタンとかうまく止められないんだもん。
It appears that Chinami has encountered some problems and is still getting ready in her room. I wait with mixed feelings for the moment when Chinami appears with glue all over her uniform. We'll be official Hibari-ko students starting from today, which means we have to head to the school affairs office before roll call starts and meet the homeroom teacher, so we have to leave as early as possible. Checking the time on my phone, there's 10 minutes left until the bell rings. Based on the number of times I've gone up Yume Misaka, we should be able to make it right on time if we leave now. It's my first day there, yet I can't savor this fresh feeling.
お待たせお兄ちゃん。制服も着終わったし、髪もセットしたし、準備万端。いざひばり公園、レッツゴー。
She looks cute in her uniform. Hold on, did you bring your name tag?
ちなみは幼稚園児じゃないよ。
Did you bring your handkerchief?
それだったらスクバに入ってるよ。
But I don't see your school bag anywhere.
そんなわけないよ。ちなみの右手がしっかりくっきり力いっぱい。ちなみ愛用スクバを掴んでるよ。
No, it's not. I don't see one in your right hand here. The thing you're holding onto is your piggy bank.
なんてこと。
Hurry up and go get your bag.
これはまさか餌を与えなかった子豚の呪いが。
You just made a mistake, that's all. I'm going to leave you behind.
そんなのやだやだ。すぐ戻ってくるから絶対待っててねお兄ちゃん。
I can only sigh as I watch Chinami run back up the stairs. It was the same back in the city. Chinami would always leave at the very last moment. All the time I'd find myself having to wait for her like this. Things haven't changed at all, despite the fact that we no longer have to catch a bus to school. I step outside the doorway after freeing my numb limbs and come across a female student passing by. Oh, it's our neighbor. She comes to a halt after our eyes meet. I recognize her. She was the girl we greeted from next door. Judging by her uniform, she appears to be a student at Hibari-ko. Good morning. I greet her politely, just to be safe. Hibari-ko has two sets of uniforms. The one she's wearing is probably the first year's uniform, so I think she's younger than me. Besides, going by her appearance, it's highly unlikely that she's older. Well, you never know. She returns a meager nod and resumes walking towards Yume Misaka. Nah, just a moment. After stopping at my call, she looks at me with her head tilted in puzzlement. You're going to school, right? If you like, want to go together? I have to establish a good relationship with my neighbors. Maybe it's because of the calmer, more laid-back atmosphere here when compared to the city, but my mind is more composed. Either way, relationships with your neighbors are very important. I'll be attending Hibari-ko starting from today. I'll be looking forward to your guidance.
お兄ちゃんがお隣さんと親睦深めてる。この前メイドさん食べたばかりなのにまた食べようとしてる。そんなに我慢できないならちなみもデザートに。
I'm fine with that, and who might you be?
他人のふりされてる。いつかの変な人。ちなみは変な人じゃないよ。以前のあれはこの人の陰謀であってちなみは悪くないんだよ。だから仲良くしてね、葵ちゃん。
Don't suddenly use Chan. Pardon us, but this person has no manners.
いつかの変な人の変な保護者。
I've become the same as Chinami? Unlike her impression of Chinami, my image should have been perfect. Our neighbor starts walking up the hill alone. It's all your fault our neighbor is treating me like a weirdo.
自業自得でしょ。
Did you lock the door?
バッチリだよ。
Shino-san is still sleeping, so I feel more at ease if the door is locked. Well then, let's go.
その前に見てみてお兄ちゃん。ちなみのお乳の制服だよ。可愛いでしょ。美しいでしょ。お兄ちゃんが望むならこの姿でお料理だってお掃除だって。
Wait up, neighbor.
逃げないでよ。お兄ちゃんのバカ。
I run up the hill. It might be due to the fact that we are nearly late, but we hardly see any students along the way. So finding the backside of our neighbor was quite simple. Considering the amount of time we had left, her pace was a bit slow. But thanks to that, we caught up in the blink of an eye. Neighbor! I line myself beside her and she slowly turns my way.
また出た。
It. She's making me sound like some monster. If you don't mind, how about we walk together? I suggest with the best smile I can manage. She doesn't show any response, neither affirming nor denying. A second passes like that, 2 seconds. An awkward breeze blows between us. Is this what they mean by getting off to a bad start? Maybe she's still angry about the prank from before.
追いついたと。
Chinami suddenly appears behind us.
また出た。ねえねえ、葵ちゃんって何年生？下の名前はなんて言うの？
I have to thank Chinami's overenthusiasm for getting rid of the awkward atmosphere this time. I'm Koga Sakayo, a second year at Hibariko. This is my younger sister Chinami, a first year. I introduce myself first to make it easier for her.
1年。葵いすず。
Isuzu. She responds nonchalantly. That means you're on the same grade as Chinami. She was a first year, as I had predicted. Aoi-san is walking at this leisurely pace, going to be alright. The bell's going to ring soon.
なんか慣れ慣れしくなった。
I'll apologize if you feel offended. Aoi falls silent with an unreadable face. This is going to be difficult.
葵ちゃんって1年の何組なの？葵ちゃんと同じクラスになれるといいな。部活は何入ってるの？葵ちゃんと同じ部活に入りたいな。でもちなみは文化系よりも運動系が得意だから、葵ちゃんが文化系の部活だったら残念だけど離れ離れになっちゃうかな。それでも遊びに顔出すからね。
Aoi's expression doesn't change whilst she continues ignoring Chinami's never-ending machine gun talk. Making 100 friends back in the city wasn't just for show. Are you perhaps still upset about our introduction from back then?
そんなことないです。
Finally, a response. I'm really sorry. I'll bring some soufflés again next time.
お構いなく。それにしても葵ちゃんって純真純情少女だね。新聞の集金だって言ったらあっさり引っかかっちゃうし。黙れゲロ。
Plebeian?
失礼。
I don't get this girl at all.
葵ちゃんって面白い。
And Chinami's persistence never changes. Like this, we arrive at the school gates. Taking a look at the time, there's less than 3 minutes left until the bell rings. Even so, Aoi continues to walk through the gates at her own pace. Well then, we better head to the school affairs office. Chinami, let's hurry.
葵ちゃん、また今度お話ししようね。
Aoi enters the school building without responding.
初日なのにもう友達ができちゃったよ。
Chinami seems satisfied even though Aoi didn't really speak much. I hope you two are in the same class. I've been in the school building once before when taking care of the transferring procedures. That's why I know where the staircases are, though it seems our lockers haven't been prepared yet. We run for the visitors' entrance, all the while praying that the bell doesn't ring. The school affairs office is on the ground floor. Chinami and I aren't in the same grade, so we split up because we have to find different teachers. The bell rings after we make a simple greeting. After leaving the school affairs office, I follow the teacher to the 3rd floor. The teacher stops shortly after walking down the hallway. The sign says Class 2A. This will be my new class. The teacher currently tells me to wait outside before going inside the classroom. Roll call is when transfer students like me introduce themselves. I'll have to do a self-introduction. I'm in a similar situation to before. The same nervousness. Sure enough, I'm worried about whether or not I'll fit into this class, and if my classmates will accept me. This insecurity is making me want to run away. Well, it's the second time. I don't seem to be used to it yet. I definitely haven't gotten used to it. I wonder if Chinami's self-introduction is going well. While her self-introduction won't be anything special, her vigor and cheerfulness will become her weapons. She'll be fitting in with her classmates in no time. What will become of me? Will I fit right in like Chinami? Or will it be like in the past, where it was difficult at first, but then I got gradually accepted? Why am I being so pessimistic? I'll be laughed at like this. She'll laugh at me. She taught me how to have fun playing with friends. Now that I'm aware of such joys, I'm no longer the child from back then who rejects others' invitations to play. Even though I had a lot of troubles when I first transferred to the school in the city, I ended up having quite a few friends. Well, I still lost to Chinami's count of 100. Oh, it's her. As I raise my head, my eyes meet with a female student walking down the corridor. I've seen her somewhere before. Actually, roll call has started already, so why is she here?
そこの生徒、もうホームルームが始まってるのに、なんで教室の外に出てるのよ。
She's thinking the same thing I am.
早く教室に戻りなさい。
While I really want to... Wait a minute. Aren't you out of class too?
生徒会のミーティングが長引いただけだから。とにかく、早く教室に戻りなさい。
So she is a member of the student council. I just transferred here today. It's the only acceptable explanation.
ああ、そういうこと。
She seems to understand the situation.
あなたが小笠香陽君なんだ。
I didn't think she would know my name.
早くひばり校に馴染みなさいね。そうしたら、また会いに来るから。
What's she talking about? She leaves. She doesn't appear to be in this class. As I wonder to myself, I hear the teacher's voice beckoning me from the classroom. So as to not make the girl whose name I've completely forgotten laugh at me. What was her name again? Kumomo, I think. Shall I go inside with all my enthusiasm? The noise the door makes was unexpectedly loud. As a result, the classroom becomes quiet in an instant. The atmosphere is tense. It feels as if the temperature around me has dropped. I stand beside the teacher on the platform. Everyone's attention is on me. I am facing all my classmates. Dozens of curious stares are focused on me. Unfamiliar faces everywhere. Well, obviously. I knew I was going to get overwhelmed. I subconsciously take a step back. The students sitting close by look at me and whisper every now and then. It's not unusual to be suspicious of someone transferring in during non-transfer season, that is, July. Though there really aren't any mind-blowing reasons, I understand they're not looking at me maliciously. Even if I do understand, it's still hard to put up with. The teacher gives a brief explanation before writing my name on the blackboard, prompting me to introduce myself. Ah, that's right. I have to do a self-introduction. I had it all figured out before I entered the classroom, but now my ideas have flown out the window. Was it because of that strange girl I just talked to? Okay, well, how do I go about introducing myself now? I can't think of anything. This isn't like my usual prepared self. Well, it isn't a problem that appeared just now. It's that mare girl's fault. After that incident at the lookout, getting back to my usual composed self will take a while. Being composed doesn't mean I'm giving up on her name. It indicates that I've affirmed my resolve to recall it. Wait, my self-introduction is more important at the moment. I can't think of anything to talk about. This isn't the first time I've introduced myself, so there's no need to panic. Up until now, I've introduced myself just fine to all the people I've met in this town. This isn't the first time I've changed schools in the first place. What sort of self-introduction did I do back then? I've got memories of myself doing amiable presentations. Even though they were brief, I can't remember exactly what I talked about. Maybe I didn't talk about anything in particular in the first place. Maybe it's because my urge to run away was so strong that I just couldn't say anything. Maybe all I was waiting for was for it to just end soon. But I'm different now. I've grown up. Not only am I taller, but with my matured mind and body, I should be able to do a decent self-introduction in front of an audience. But, unsurprisingly, it's a problem if I can't think of anything to say. I've said a number of times that first impressions are very important. In that case, showing my friendliness is my #1 priority. What should I do if I let this chance slip? If I keep on making lame jokes, I'll be labeled as a pain. That would be a difficult reputation to get rid of. I'm not as shameless as Jinami, so I'll be skipping class if that happens. Then I'm better off not taking any risks and going with the safer option of pleased to meet you all. But even so, being known as a dull person is... Because I've been silent up until now, my classmates are starting to get restless. Crap, not looking good. I should say something, anything, just as a filler while I think of something to say. If I give it too much thought, I'll be called a total nerd. Not again! No, I really haven't matured at all.
小笠原くん頑張れ
Oh, she's in our class, so. Amidst the noisy classroom, a loud voice reaches my ears.
みんなも静かにしようよ小笠原くん困ってるしちゃんと自己紹介聞いてあげようよ
Not every face here is new. The one with the raised voice standing up by her seat was the maid I had met from before.
クラス委員の
Oh,
ア
and
ス
she's
ホ
here
さん
too.
がこう言っているんですから皆さんも落ち着いて小笠原さんの言葉を待ちましょう
And the one sitting in front is the girl called Hisakaki Kosame, whom I met in front of the school gate. The two smile at me, proof of them accepting me, the outsider, into the class. The moment I think about that, the self-introduction I exchanged with them pops into my mind in a I'm Kugasakayo, and I'll be studying together with everyone starting today. I've only just transferred, so there's a lot I'll have to learn. I look forward to working with you all. In the end, I finished the self-introduction without any blunders. A wave of applause follows, and a huge weight gets lifted from my chest. My seat was by the window. Of course it's by the window. The protagonist always sits by the window. Roll call ends when the bell rings. There's a 10-minute break before period 1 starts. After I unpack the new textbook from my bag, the female student sitting beside me immediately starts up a conversation.
びっくりしたよ小笠原くん
The one sitting beside me is the maid, Minahoshi Asuho.
転入するって聞いてたけど私のクラスに来るんだもん
I was also surprised.
世間って狭いんだね
I was safe thanks to that.
何が
Nothing, just talking to myself.
また今度私の店に食べに来てね
Our budget is tight lately, so it'll be a while until I drop by again. My wallet is empty from buying the display cabinets.
金欠だったらうちの店でバイトすればいい
Isn't it really stressing to work at a maid cafe?
や別にメイド喫茶ってわけじゃないんだよあれはマスターの趣味でそうなってるだけだから
So your father's hobby, huh? Hobby, you say? You're still working there despite that? The owner of that cafe seemed like a dangerous person. Really? Why?
バイトじゃなくてお手伝いねその店私の家なんだマイ自宅
Jitaku, translation note 3. Well, Jitaku literally means my home, so there's no need to look at the translation note. That English is slightly off.
で私のお父さんがそのマスターなの
So, the dangerous boss is her dad. He is appearing more and more dangerous. What sort of father makes his daughter wear maid costumes?
あそうそう
What's
そ
wrong
れ
with
で気
that?
になってたんだけどうちの店に来た時に小学校の話したよね
Right, now that you mention it, I'm also starting to get interested. She leans over and stares at me fixedly. What's wrong?
小笠原くんってさ
She's so close that we are at point blank distance. Close enough to feel her breathing, unfathomably close. I lean back to distance my flustered self from her. Is she nearsighted? Minahoshi-san.
アスホでいいよ
She gives a friendly smile. Then Asuho-san.
もう呼び捨てでいいってば私たちクラスメートでしょ
I scratched the back of my head in embarrassment. Then Asuho.
ようちゃん
She's using Chan after my name? That's a bit.
じゃあようくん
You can drop the honorifics too.
それはさすがに恥ずかしいよ
I reckon adding Chan is much more embarrassing.
でも昔はようちゃんって呼んでたよね
Back then? Asuho lurches forward again. I digest her words while arcing my body backward like a prawn. Back then? Back when?
ようちゃんってあのようちゃんだよね
So they knew each other when they were children? Which Yo-chan?
私も後で思い出したんだけど私たちって小学校一緒だったよねクラスもずっと一緒だったじゃないね頭でっかちのようちゃん
As if she wouldn't see me without getting close, the girl called Minahoshi Asuho stares at me from point blank range. There definitely was a girl like that in my memories. I was a nerd at the time, as she had stated. While I didn't intend to become a nerd, I gave off an arrogant impression. I wasn't invited to play with anyone, nor did I ever consider asking others. That's why I didn't have any friends. Didn't he say before that he just refused invitations to play? Which would mean that others did invite him to play with them. I simply didn't make any. I didn't mind it. It's normal to be ignored by others around you. But there was a girl who was worried about me being alone all the time and wanted me to fit in. That girl was also the class representative.
私のこと覚えてない？あの頃もクラス委員やってたんだけどな。
That girl did an excellent job of putting the class in order. You could say she was the mood maker of the class. On the other hand, the class representative back in the city was a tsundere. I don't know whether it's because Minahoshi Asuho is the class rep or if it's her personality, but she adds chan to everyone's names regardless of gender. Not only was she capable of bringing the class together, she was also someone who was able to make her friends feel welcome.
どう？思い出した？
Rather than remembering or not, you were too memorable for me to forget.
本当かな？喫茶店で会った時は他人行儀だったくせに。
While I was born here in Hibarigasaki, I've never been to a primary school reunion before. I figured that they would forget about me completely, so meeting someone like this is embarrassing. But I'm somewhat happy.
都会に引っ越したって聞いて驚いたんだよ。急な話だったからさ。
Yeah, I was surprised
よ
too.
うちゃん頭良かったよね。前と同じでこの学校でも学年トップを維持したりするのかな。
No, I stopped doing that in the city.
やっぱり向こうの学校ってレベル高いの？
Nope, I just didn't study.
ようちゃん、昔もそんな風に自分はさも努力してないって感じだったのに、いつもトップだったからな。
No, seriously, I'm not nerdy
じ
anymore.
ゃあ転入の時試験とかなかった？
I did.
結果どうだった？
I didn't ask for my marks, so I have no idea.
嘘っぽいな。
It's true.
さっきから楽しそうに話してるけど、お前らって知り合いなのか？
Who's that? The male student sitting in front of me observes us with keen interest.
ようちゃんとはね、小学校が同じだったんだ。
あれ？小笠坂って都会から引っ越してきたんだろ？
I was born in this town. I moved out at one point, but I'm back now.
ああ、なるほど。
アスカ君は私と小学校違うから、ようちゃんとは初めてだよね。
So his name is Asuka.
アスカ未来だ。ま、よろしく頼むわ。
Nice to meet you too. I think his name is weird, but pointing it out would be rude, so I don't say anything.
にしても、ずいぶん中途半端な時期に転入してくるんだな。もう1ヶ月もしないで夏休みだってのに。
Why is his name weird? Because it's usually a girl's name?
なんか、訳ありか？
This guy, on the other hand, runs his mouth carelessly.
アスカさん、詮索は悪趣味だと思いますよ。それでも詮索したいのなら、もっと仲を深めてからにするべきかと。
This time, the girl sitting in front of Asuho joins in. I know her name already.
またお会いしましたね、転入生さん。今後とも吉名にお願いしますね。
Likewise, pleased to meet you.
なんだよ、そっちももう知り合いなのか。
少しばかりご縁があったんです。
I'll ask about what happened with that fight sometime. Nevertheless, I didn't expect you to be my classmate.
私は麻生さんと同級生ですからね。ですので、私も麻生さんと同じで、名前で呼んで構いませんよ。
Roger that, Kusame-san.
呼び捨てにはしてくれないんですか？
You're...
冗談です。私はアスカさんと同じで、小笠坂さんと小学校が同じだったわけじゃありませんから。私だけの特権だね。
お前と同じ学校通ってたやつなら他にもいるだろうがよ。
でもようちゃんのこと真っ先に思い出したのは私だからね。アスホさんだけが思い出すわけじゃないと思いますよ。
Nah, I left this town a long time ago, so it's not unusual if no one remembers me.
ほらほら、私だけの特権だね。ここは小笠坂さんの名誉のために否定すべきところだと思いますよ。
小笠坂、教科書とかはあんのか？
I bought them already.
うわ、新品いいな。誰もが最初は新品だったんですよね。
7月の今になってまだ新品のままだったら、そいつの学習態度がわかるってわけだ。
なんで私の教科書とようちゃんの教科書隣り合わせで比べるんだよ。想定が新しいのはむしろ褒めるべきところですよ。それだけ大切に扱っているということですから。
皆星の場合は 外が綺麗で中が汚いけどな。いたずらが。
勝手に人の教科書見ないでよ。これでは救いがありませんね。クワバラクワバラ。友達だったら少しはフォローしようよ。
I smile wryly at the seat in front of me. Before transferring to this class, I felt very nervous and anxious, but those feelings have disappeared completely. It appears I'll fit into this class well, because the girl in my memories is the only one I remember.
りょうちゃん、私の教科書と交換しない？見た目は同じだし、別にいいよね。
No thanks, I don't want to use a textbook with meat written over Shakespeare's forehead.